everyone, and we are doing a new type of Facebook Live. I'm calling it Master Health Coach TV, and it's Wednesday live at 5 p.m. Pacific time. So I'm super excited to introduce our special guest here, and I'll get to that in a moment. She's got an amazing transformative story. She's got lots of tips to share about her journey and what she does with her clients. And I also wanted to let people know, many of you know that I've been a medical doctor over 25 years, but I've also been a holistic health coach for over 10 years now. And I am super excited to share with you some of these amazing people that I've met along my journey. There's some amazing health coaches, and they know a lot, and they have a lot of great tips to share and varied experiences, and they work with people in different ways. So I want to bring that to you. And first off, things look a little different on my end than they used to when I was doing my Transformation Tuesdays. So just let me know if you can see me and hear me, and if you can see and hear Ingrid in a moment too, that's great, or at least let me know if you can't. And I also am curious, how many of you know what a health coach is? Have you ever heard of a health coach? Have you benefited from one? Are you one yourself? I know a lot of my followers are also health coaches, so let me know. I'm just curious as to what do you think they are? So our guest tonight is just an amazing, amazing, beautiful person, a beautiful friend. And she's not only a weight loss success story and a transformation story both from physical and mindset. And you're really going to love her before and after story. But the great thing is she didn't do this transformation until her mid-40s. So her message really is, it's never too late. So she's going to share about that. So it's never too late to leap into health. So she is Ingrid Jamault. You can see her name there. So she is a 49-year-old mom of 3 awesome kids. She's got 2 tall, strapping young sons, 22 and 19, and a beautiful little girl, 11 years old. And she's married to her high school sweetheart, Gil. She lives in beautiful Maple Ridge, British Columbia, Canada. And she's just you can tell in her face, she's just this very giving, generous, caring person, beautiful inside and out. She's a former nurse and has a special education background as well. And over the years, I've watched her become, get interested in nutrition, become a health coach, a nutrition coach, a running coach, an integrative health coach, personal trainer, and run marathons herself. And that is surprising, especially to her former self. And you gotta hear that story of how that came about. That's quite the before and after. So I just want you really do deserve to get to know this amazing woman and her story. So I just want to give a big, huge, warm welcome to Master Coach Ingrid Jamault of Leap Lifestyle and Wellness. Welcome, Ingrid.
Thank you. Wow, Shaunna, you're too kind. That's a really nice introduction.
Well, and I want people who are watching now, and I see some people there. Hi, Lana and Matt, I can see you, so feel free to comment and things. And Christine, I think, is on there too. Awesome. So I just want people to know, stay to the end, because not only is she going to share some great tips, but she also has something special she wants to give some of you. So I'll stay to the end, you'll find out more. So first off, Ingrid, tell us about this acronym LEAP. You have that in capital letters. What does LEAP stand for, and what makes you say it's never too late to leap into health?
Well, I chose LEAP as a business name because all of those words just resonated with me. LEAP stands for lift, empower, align, and play. And there's, double, sometimes triple meaning in that words. And those words are like the cornerstones of my coaching philosophy. And it's really my personal story, actually, that plays into that's never too late, because I realized that in my mid-40s that I could do it, starting then and getting better and better all the time. And I started in my mid-40s. I was 44, and I started to eat healthier and learning and reading about eating healthy. And once I started to nourish my body, I felt the urge to exercise, and I started to exercise, and that just evolved into me helping other people do the same thing. People were inspired by my transformation, and inside and out, and I started to help other people who wanted to also get healthier and get fitter and wanted to learn about nutrition and self-care. And it's great because I feel better at 50 than I did at 20.
That's awesome. That is so awesome. And clearly now you're into health and wellness. We just popped on earlier just to make sure that we could see each other and the connection was good. And we were both in our workout clothes, so it's pretty cool to see you being so active, and also like the identity shift of who you are. It's really too bad I didn't have those old pictures to show up, but like, you know, from the frumpy mom hiding behind your children in photographs. There are no photographs really of you, no evidence really. And to now, you know, this marathon runner and, you know, really quite a master coach. So clearly you're into health and wellness now and helping others do the same. But as you say, it didn't happen until like 44. So what inspired you to follow this path into living a healthy lifestyle and becoming a health coach and a personal trainer yourself?
Well, years ago, you know, we were eating like the average person probably does now. When we were eating a standard diet of packaged food and processed food, and we didn't really pay too much attention to what we were putting in our bodies. We just kind of ate the regular stuff in the grocery store kind of thing, what everyone else was eating type of thing, quick, convenient stuff, you know, pop it in the oven and go kind of thing. And I was taking my kids to McDonald's, and yeah, it's really hard for me even to say that, thinking about it. Then about 10 years ago, my daughter had an anaphylactic reaction to peanuts, as it turns out, and she has a few other allergies that aren't as serious as peanuts, but she has several allergies. So we started to read labels, and we had to read them carefully because her life was literally at stake. So as we started to read labels, we started to see chemicals and high fructose corn syrup and all these words that we didn't even know what it was or couldn't pronounce it. And you know, it was just a real eye opener.
Yeah. And I can't even imagine. I mean, I know from the physician side how scary that is, an anaphylactic reaction, and really a baby, and as a mom to go through that. So talk about a wake-up call, really.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, obviously that's a pretty good reason to read labels. And what about you, though? What was your health and life like at that time with that lifestyle? Like, give us a glimpse into what life was like for you.
Well, at that time, 10 years ago, I was a full-time stay-at-home mom. My husband worked long hours, so it was kind of like single parenting. And I was always tired. I was always giving to my kids and my husband and everybody else, like lots of moms. And I would stay up late after my kids went to bed and snack on, you know, something sweet and something salty and something sweet and something salty, just to have that me time and that decompressing time. And then I would be tired, and then I'd get up with my kids, and then I would be tired and have to have a nap at 3 p.m. after my tea and cookies. And, you know, I would be fueling myself with caffeine and I'm not sleeping enough and caught up in a vicious cycle of wired but tired. And you know, the only me time I could find was when my kids were in bed, and I would just, you know, gorge on junk and stay up too late. And it just led to not feeling well at all. And at the time, I was just doing what I had to do to get, you know, through the day, taking care of my kids and stuff. And it really caught up with me. I was putting everyone else first and myself last. And I didn't even know what self-care was. And even if I did, I would have at the time thought it was a very selfish thing to do, not knowing that it was so essential for my own well-being and to be able to give wholly from myself, give to my family once I was taken care of. Yeah,
no, it's so true. And I think many people, moms especially, can relate to putting their family first, everybody else first, and putting themselves at the bottom of the priority list. I think that's pretty common. So feel free to type in the chat there if that is you or was you, or are you at the bottom of your priority list? Because I think it's pretty prevalent, and it's part of why my little message is be good for you. I'm always trying to make sure that you're good for you, because then you can be good for others. And it starts with you. So So that's great. So now at this point, you're reading labels, you're got this hunger to know more about healthy eating, but you're still at the bottom of your priority list. Even with that, you're doing it really for your daughter, but you're getting more interested. You're kind of leaning into it, but there's still not really the self-care there. Still not exercising at this point. And then, what happened? What kind of turned you onto this route?
Yeah, well, I was definitely starting to see the power of food, and the power of food to make you well, or the power of food to take your life in my daughter's case. But so I was more and more interested in healthy eating, and I attended a superfoods workshop with my sister-in-law that I love and trust dearly. And I met an incredible person at this workshop. She was a health coach and a doctor. And I remember vividly walking through the parking lot with my sister-in-law after the workshop thinking, how cool is that? That's someone's job, to help people get healthier and feel better. And I just remember the energy and just the great vibe coming from that incredible person. And of course, that person was you. Yeah. So then I followed you online, and I looked at IIN, and it was very intriguing, and eventually they were offering the health coach course online, and so I jumped in. I didn't have to really think twice. I jumped in and became a health coach myself, and I learned and I put into practice, and I'm happily still learning every day. I always say every day is a good day when I learn something new, because I by no means, I don't know if I'll ever know everything, but I love to learn. So my nutrition improved, my energy improved, and I had lots of health coaches and fitness trainers along the way helping me. I had lots of mentors and accountability coaches and stuff like that. It's very important to keep you on track, because if you do it yourself, it can be a hard road. It's really good to have a coach.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I followed a clean eating nutrition program. I lost 40 pounds. Everything was better. My hair, my energy, my skin, my mood was really good. I had some anxiety sometimes, and PMS, things like that. My mood got better, and over time, I think I look younger too, actually. So everything, just people would always say, "Oh my God, you're glowing," and I'm like, "Thank you." Right? I got better at accepting compliments too. I kind of had to. So everything changed when I changed my nutrition and starting to practice self-care. So
that's awesome. And it's for other health coaches out there. It is the ripple effect. Like from my end, giving that workshop, I mean, it's sharing my passion, sharing what I love to do, and I have no idea how people are receiving that in the audience. And I'm sure it's varied. Some people are bored or whatever, but it's really great to know that you're probably inspiring a lot more people. I didn't hear about this story until years later, that was Ingrid's perception there. And so sometimes when we're doing this work, sometimes we feel like people aren't hearing us, and they are hearing us. And so and your ripple effect is extending. So lead by example, and that goes for all of us, whether you're a health coach or not. Like, you can inspire others. So I know that in your journey you lost 40 pounds and things, and then you started to have more energy, and you started to exercise. But I would love for you to share with people your mindset, your before and after mindset when it came to exercise, because it was like a complete 180.
Yeah, I'm still like, who am I? But because I mean, even when I was in school, I would be the kid who forgot her gym strip or skipped gym and things like that. I was not into it. I did not want to sweat. That was not in my realm of possibilities. And as an adult, if I would see someone running down the street, I would think, who would do that for fun? Like, why, right? But now, after I was nourished and started to feel more energetic, I felt like running. I can't explain it. I was like Forrest Gump for a while there. I trained for my first 10K, and then I couldn't walk for 3 days after the first one because it was new to me, right? So I let it sit for several months, and that was the Vancouver Sun Run, which I'm training for again right now. But so the first time I couldn't walk for 3 days, and I was like, maybe running isn't for me. So I let it sit until training time came around the next year, and I said, this is not going to get the better of me. I'm going to do this. So I trained again, and it went well. So then that was in April. And the following October, I did my first half marathon. And then within 14 months, I did 7 half marathons and several 10Ks and 5Ks as well, too. So, yeah, I was like Forrest Gump. I was running a lot. I had a lot of energy.
That's so awesome. Once you got started,
Yeah.
There was no stopping you. I love that. So, and some people only know you now as a runner, as a trainer, as a coach. And I think it's really important to know that backstory. And they can't imagine, that you like that before. And I think it's really important. We all have our own transformation journey, and I think it's good because people are like, maybe I could too. Yeah. Okay, later, anytime. Okay, so and like, cause you were 44, right, when you started?
Yeah. So yeah, that's my what I tell people now is that it's never too late. I started to feel good, and I wanted to share what I was doing with others once I got going, and I wanted to show them you can get started gently and easily, and anything's possible, and anyone can do it. So yeah. I started like a interval training, and that's what enabled me to do it longer. So if at first you don't succeed, try again, right?
Yeah, I like that. And I think it's important for people to realize that the journey, like you often say, from ordinary to extraordinary, can be a bumpy one. Sometimes people just see the after picture and think that, well, you flipped a switch and they're those people who are healthy and they like to do that kind of thing, but they can't imagine themselves at that. And you have like a total identity shift, like you are now that. And so not that people need to become coaches and trainers, but you can become healthier, and that can be part of your identity. And it's kind of a good idea because you are what you eat. And as you said, your mood was better, your hair, your nails, your skin, your relationships, like everything just kind of like improves when you change your nutrition. But it isn't always smooth sailing, and that is the role of coaches and mentors. And you learn, interval training, that's how I can manage this run so that I can still walk the next day or the next couple of days after. And you learn. And I think sometimes people look at getting coaching as a sign of weakness, like of asking for help. And I really think it's more the opposite. I mean, you and I both have had coaches and mentors, but I think by asking, and the people who are best in the world at what they do have coaches. I mean, look at any athlete, they have a coach. The best in the world at whatever, they still have a coach, or acting coaches, or singing, they have coaches. And they play a really great role. And I think when people just accept their self-imposed limitations and don't, reach out for coaching, I think that's more of a sign of weakness than, going for the gusto, like you said, always learning. So tell us about navigating some of the bumps along the way for you. Like, what were some of the things that you learned?
Well, definitely it took my mind longer to become an athlete than my body. I definitely had some catch up to do. Even though I had done all that running, I felt like imposter syndrome. I was like, who am I? Like, can I really do this? I was still questioning myself. So having a coach was amazing because she would, my coaches would let me borrow their belief until I got my own belief in myself. Mm-hmm. So that was really important. And, my first run didn't go well and I could have given up, but I didn't. I learned a new way to go about it. And with the help of my coach, I learned a new way to go about it and how to overcome that. And, it takes time to create new habits, and persistence and consistency is key. Yeah. And you just got to keep moving forward.
Yeah, Yeah, I agree. I agree 100%. And people tend to have a lot of like negative self-talk and downplay and negate their little wins. And I think that as coaches, we point out the wins. I mean, all the time, people will say, well, I only lost a few pounds. Well, it is those like those few pounds, those couple of pounds every few weeks that leads to the 100 pounds. But because it's not a big thing, they negate it. And I think a coach can point out that those little wins string together and then compound and then create the big win, and it can totally transform your life. So as a coach, what are some of your unique philosophies and tips that you can share with our viewers? And I think this was the part that people will really enjoy.
Okay, so some of the things that, when I meet clients, we're interviewing each other. We want to see if we're fit for each other. And one of the things I tell a client that's just starting or prospective client is that we don't use the scale as a measurement of anything. If they wish to weigh themselves, I encourage them to weigh themselves much less often than they probably are, and not to attach anything to it. We don't necessarily talk about their weight. I don't ask them to count calories. It's more about nutritional density and fueling your body. Because I explain to them how you can have, a 100-calorie bag of Doritos or a 100-calorie apple, and there's much more value in that apple than the Doritos. So counting calories is really just a waste of time, in my opinion. So, the scale and counting calories is not what I practice and not what I encourage my clients to practice. And I have found that most people are relieved by letting those numbers go and just focusing on how they feel and using food as fuel. And, you have the occasional treat. That's life. That's what we do. But when you're fueling your body with proper nutrition, unhealthy daily cravings are going to naturally go away, and you're going to enjoy those treats and feel zero guilt about enjoying them once in a while, because you're not maybe binging on them nightly like I was at one time.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, savor it when you have it. And I like that, like non-diet philosophy.
Yeah.
What is your, so I know you're also a personal trainer. What's your philosophy on exercise?
It's very customized for my clients, and we do a balance of cardio, strength training, stretching. I'm really fascinated by fascia, so stretching and keeping tissues pliable and healthy is very important to me, and it's I see patterns